Disappointment is simply a part of life, so it's not hard to believe that there are some less than star-studded episodes, even in our favorite series. This is my top 5, well, top 5 is a little derivative of this. These are my 5 least favorite episodes of Steven Universe Season 1. Remember, this is simply my opinion, so if you like these episodes extraordinarily, there's no need to get bent out of shape, because it's just what I think and it's just what I feel, and what does that really matter? I'm just some guy behind the camera. So anyway, let's get this party started. Rounding out the list at number 5 is House Guest. House Guest is a complicated response because for the most part this episode is actually pretty good. It shows off the consequences of Mirror Gym and Ocean Gym before it by having Greg deal with the broken leg he acquired in a fight with Lapis Lazuli, along with his lack of living arrangements since his van was also totaled, and then it leads to some pretty earnest father-son bonding moments between Greg and Steven that we didn't really get to see too much of up to this point. The issue comes when Steven's healing powers don't seem to work on fixing Greg's broken leg like they did on Lapis's gym, and this later on causes Steven to not be able to fix a gym MacGuffin that has the capability of producing a world-ending storm. Between that and Greg constantly harassing the gyms and Steven for help, it starts weighing on Steven a lot, which is why when it is revealed Greg's leg has been healed this whole time since Steven tried healing it at the beginning of the episode, it really just strikes the wrong nerve. Up until this point, Greg has been presented as this really wholesome character who just really loves his son, and seeing him manipulate Steven like this, albeit because he misses him, just leaves a bad taste to an otherwise wholesome episode. Greg does apologize, however, and additionally makes up for it by fixing the gym MacGuffin himself with duct tape, which is a great example of mundane solutions to fix magical problems. So that keeps it low on this list. And rounding out the list at number 4 is Keep Beach City Weird. Keep Beach City Weird is, well, weird, as the title explains. This episode follows Steven as he's going about his day when he suddenly gets caught up right in the middle of Ronaldo and his perception of reality. Ronaldoisms in general I enjoy because for the most part the way he takes himself too seriously is entertaining enough, at least to me. He's goofy, incredulous, and he makes for a good depiction of that type of person. The problem becomes when the show takes him too seriously, and this example is the start of it all when Steven suddenly gets absorbed into Ronaldo's way of thinking. Being scared, Steven asks the gyms if Ronaldo is right, and getting a resounding no, Steven brings this information to Ronaldo, which destroys him as a person. Steven then tries to cheer up Ronaldo by giving him proof to his conspiracy theories, which goes horribly awry and gets him kidnapped. This does lead to my favorite Ronaldo bit though, and that's Ronaldo trying to fight the gyms and getting his butt hilariously kicked. But at the end of the day, I think what Petey did was right. Sometimes it's better to deconstruct people's flawed way of thinking slowly, because doing it all at once can be catastrophic. Unfortunately, after this, Steven never gets too caught up in Ronaldo's headspace, leaving the other Ronaldo episodes to be a lot better in my opinion. And rounding out the list at number 3 is Shirt Club. Shirt Club is a really boring episode where Steven helps Buck Dewey, the mayor's son, make shirts with Steven's advertisement for his dad's guitar lessons printed on them. Steven quickly realizes that he's just being used for street cred and then decides to find an old drawing that Buck did for his dad during a re-election campaign and decides to deliver it via sniping at people from a rooftop. Now I know the sniping scene isn't meant to be shocking or anything, but it's just a joke that hasn't aged very well in the past 5 years, especially considering the recent upsurge in gun violence in the United States. So with the sniping scene, the overall dryness of the episode, and the fact that this episode aired a few weeks after Jailbreak, which it technically comes before canonically, all of this set the episode up for a bad time. Hey Tyler, I need you to hold something for me. Yeah, sure, what is it? And holding up our number 2 spot is Secret Team. If you have ever seen an episode of a cartoon or TV show where the characters have to learn to trust each other, then chances are you've seen Secret Team's plot coming from a mile away. Secret Team revolves around the premise that a bunch of gem shards escaped into the temple because of an incident caused by both Amethyst and Pearl, and Steven just happened to be the witness of it. In a strange series of events, both Pearl and Amethyst tell Steven that they can't go to Garnet with this info because she will quote-unquote kill them, so the 3 of them form a pact to get the shards back themselves. They do exactly this and then disband the group, but Steven's kind and loving nature liked seeing everyone work together, so he tries to get them to do more stuff together, but Pearl and Amethyst outright refuse. Steven then goes to Garnet for help, who agrees to help Steven, but who then pulls a Kansas City shuffle on all three of them and pretends to be the leftover shards that have gotten wildly out of control. When Garnet reveals her ruse, it basically boils down to this. It was your fault. No, it was your fault. Guys, I think it was my fault. No, it was all of your faults. The main issue with this one revolves around how Amethyst and Pearl react when the bubble is broken. The way they talk and with how desperate they are to make sure that Garnet doesn't know, it makes you believe that they legitimately think that Garnet would quote-unquote kill them for doing something like this, and they're talking about someone they've known for thousands of years. Pearl and Garnet fought side by side in a war, and yet she still believes she is in danger from Garnet wanting to kill her for this. Granted, part of me could believe that they think this because Garnet has closed herself off a lot more after becoming the new leader of the Crystal Gems, so they're freaking out because they don't know what's going to happen. But she's been their leader for at least 12 years, and they're friends for 1,000 plus, and this just feels largely ignored. I feel like a better plotting for this episode would be if they did tell Garnet and the four tried to find pieces together, but Pearl and Amethyst's bickering keeps making things worse until they have to resolve it and take on the bigger threat that's overwhelming Garnet and about to get Steven. But these are just my thoughts. And now, topping the list for Season 1, we have Maximum Capacity. So you know how in House Guest Greg did something really messed up but then did something to make up for it while also apologizing? Maximum Capacity has the opposite problem, where Amethyst first takes Greg away from his life responsibilities and son to watch an old sitcom together again, and then when Greg tries to leave, she shapeshifts into Greg's dead partner and Steven's mother, Rose Quartz, and taunts this emotionally broken man and scars a 12-year-old child. She later makes up for it by getting all the gems to clean out Greg's storage unit, in an act so symbolic it begs to question whether or not the symbolism is enough to make up for the fact that she never verbally owned up to what she did wrong. Actions do speak louder than words, but that usually implies that the actions are comparable or greater than the words in question. And in the case of Maximum Capacity, I feel like verbal recognition of wrongdoing might have helped this episode's case when it comes to the long-term emotional value. Because without it, it sort of comes off like this. You're basically just putting on my dead wife's skin and then asking me to watch a TV show with you while you have it on. No. It's cool. I made cookies. The worst part being that based on Greg's dialogue, this isn't the first time that this has happened, and that's just terrible. Granted, Steven's reprimanding seemed to make the difference, as Amethyst did try to make up for what she did and has since been growing into a wonderful character, but something about leaving an unspoken apology for something so traumatizing seems wrong. Actions and words together speak louder than anything, and this is one of those incidents where the episode would have been all the better for it. So those are my 5 least favorite Steven Universe episodes of Season 1. Do you have a series or an idea for a top 5 list you want to see in the future? If so, let me know in the comments below, and in the meantime, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to show your support, and hit that bell icon so you can always be sure to see all the content when I send it out to you all. And remember, every video is a party, and you're invited to the next one. For now, this has been Take 5 with Party God Douglas. Have a good night, my party people. I'll see you next time.